Today I'm going to film a tutorial on how to make this little file folder journal. I made this from manila folders, and I had a few requests in the Paper Outpost group to film a tutorial, so here it is. I made this a while ago. My goal was to use some of my scrapbook paper because I have a lot, and I was just looking for ways to use my beautiful paper, and I still have a lot of paper left, so I'm gonna make more today. Like I said, I used manila folders, and if you don't have any of those at home, you can get a 10-pack for $1 at Dollar Tree. That's where I got these guys, actually. And it also doesn't matter if they have the tab in the middle or if they have the tab on the bottom. This one had the tab at the top. You can just cut it, depending on how tall your journal is going to be. You can just cut it so the tab will be at the top. For example, this one, I just cut it like this. So I cut pieces off here, a piece off here and here. And this is actually 7 inches, and I thought it's a really good size to hold in your hand and maybe stick in your purse. All right, so I already cut mine, so I have to get my big guillotine cutter up here. I cut it to 7 inches tall, like I said. It's up to you what size you want to make yours. And I also made a prototype because it got a little confusing with all the score lines, because you have to score at other spots, not because the manila folders already come scored with these. You can see that, so you can fold them here, but these are actually not the ones we use. I think we use one of those folds, but the other ones we have to score ourselves. So like I said, I had one that had the tab on the bottom. I was thinking about using it this way, but then I thought I really like the way I have it up here, like with the tab on the top. So all you would have to do is flip it inside out, turn it over, and there you go. It's at the top. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will put all the measurements that I use in the description below the video. So in case you want to use those measurements, you don't have to like write them down right now. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna line this up with my, here we go, this way. Like I said, it can be confusing. All right, so also I have 6 measurements, and these 2 I measured from this side because my scoring board is only 12.5 inches, and then I turn it over and measured these 4 from the other side. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. Now I need to find my bone folder. So the first 2 measurements are going to be at 5/1/8 and 5/3/8. So I always have a 1/4 inch. Like this is a 1/4 inch, and then here's a 1/4 inch. All right, so let's score this. I'm gonna pull it down here so I can actually see because the camera is in the way. 1/8. Just gonna mark this real quick so I can remove that thing. And then here you can maybe see, here we're gonna actually use the pre-made fold. Actually, no, it's from the other side. Never mind, ignore that. We're only doing 1 measurement from the side. All right. So 5 1/8 and 5 3/8. And then we flip this whole thing over. Woo. And it's going to be 3 7/8 and 4 1/8. And then it's going to be 8 3/8. 1, 2, 3. And here we're actually using this one that's a pre-scored fold for from the manila folder. That would be at 8 5/8. So let me score these real quick. And on my prototype, I actually drew lines on it, so I know which ones are the actual lines, because there's so many folds, which, yeah, like I said, gets confusing. So you can draw the lines, you don't have to, because we're gonna cover this up with paper anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if you plan on making more of these things, I suggest that you also create a prototype just as a reference, because that makes it a lot easier. It took me quite a while. This one was actually my first prototype, and it took me quite a while to figure out all the measurements. So I have a lot of scoring lines in here. All right, so I can move this out of the way now. My desk is full of stuff. So, whoop, gotta go this way. So here's the top tab, and then we're just gonna fold all of those. The first scoring line. Second one. See, now I'm already confused. Which one do I need? Okay. So it might not be a bad idea to draw lines, so you know which ones you have to score. Okay, and then these two. So fold 1, fold 2, and fold 3. So one thing that I did not think about when I made this one, you see how I sewn in my signatures. So what I did, I sewed them in like at 1/8 of an inch, half of the 1/4 inch, like spine. And then same here, but on this one, let's see, on this one I did 2, but if you make this signature really thick, it might get really tight in here, you see, because this one goes right up against this one, whereas the inside ones, they have more space in there. So this one I'm just gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna glue any stuff in it. This is just for writing, so I'm fine with this. But if you decide to make this a junk journal where you glue in a whole bunch of stuff and make it really chunky, you might not want to sew in this signature because it doesn't have a lot of space in here. It's up to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one, I am actually not going to sew in signatures. I'm just gonna put pockets in there, because what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make this for one of my snail mail pen pals, and I'm gonna mail her some ephemera and some other stuff like postcards and other images, and then one of the pockets I'm gonna use for the letter. Okay, I'm gonna go find some scrapbook paper, and then I'll be back and we can start gluing this stuff together. All right, so I chose these papers. I like those nice colors, bright colors, and they're from Pink Paisley. It's Paige Evans' collection called Truly Grateful, and I haven't really used a lot of it, so time to use them up. Okay, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna cut all of them to be 7 inches tall, because our journal is gonna be, or my journal is gonna be 7 inches tall. So let's do this real quick. 1, and 2. And 3. And the last one, 4. All right. And next we're gonna figure out what page or what paper we want where. So for the outside, I think I'm gonna go with the trees, or maybe the flowers. No, I'm gonna go with the trees. And then for the one that's next to the, it's gonna be next to the tree one, I think I'm going to go probably going to go with the leaves. Okay, so let's see, I don't want to mess this up. So what I do, I flip this over, and this is gonna go right on here. And I'm actually going to trace on here so I can actually see. Where's my other pencil? What did I do? Oh well. And I just noticed that this one is taller than my... Why are you taller? Are you not... So I noticed that my guillotine cutter doesn't cut straight. And I have no idea why. Because I always thought they were supposed to be straight. But it's not. Let's see if I can cut it with this one. You are supposed to be 7 inches, my dear. Why aren't you? Very interesting. Look at that. Now it's probably going to be less than 7 inches, but I don't care. I can always, it's easier to cut this off in the end than to cut this and mess the whole thing up. Okay, so like I said, what did I say? Okay, so this is going to be here. Let's see. Yep, now they line up. So I am going to have to mark where I'm going to cut. All right. And then the other one is going here. But let's try to. Okay, so while I have the tree paper cover this second spine as well, I don't want this paper to go right up to this to that fold, and then you see, like, if it doesn't stick, then you see what's underneath the paper. So what I did with my other one, I just moved this one over by like maybe an inch or so. So it's definitely secure when you open and close it, so the paper doesn't like come out and be all weird. So I am going to, I think that's like 9.5 inches. Yeah, about 9.5 inches. I'm gonna cut it at 9.5. So let's get this back up here. So with this cutter, I just recently bought this one. I like that you can actually see where you're gonna be cutting because of the little wire in here. And so far, I think it actually cuts straight. And then I said I was gonna cut this at 9.5. 9.5. All right. And I believe the inside ones can be the same. Let's see. Just want to double check. It's like 8 something. 9.5. So let's do. Sorry if I'm out of the frame. Nope. Nope. Thought they were the same. I think these two are the same. Okay, I'm gonna cut one of them. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. So it's 2/8. 8 and 2/8. Oh, nope, I want the other one. Eight and 2/8. Yeah, I want this side. 1, 2. And then the other one I'm just gonna cut like a little over 10 inches. All right. So because this video is probably gonna be super long, I'm just gonna speed up the next part where I'm just gonna glue those on my manila folder, and I'll talk to you after that. right, so now I get all the paper glued onto this thing, and you probably saw that I had to undo this part because I want to have the green paper under the tree paper, and now I'm realizing that I still did it wrong, because now when I fold it, you can see that it might come off the paper right here. Oops, sorry. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stick some colorful washi tape over the edge, the fold, so it won't come off. Doesn't really matter. Same in here. I somehow measured wrong. I have no idea why, because I thought I measured it right. So this paper doesn't line up all the way with doesn't go all the way to the fold. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have to be perfect, and I can always stick washi tape or something on there. Doesn't really bother me. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my eyelet in here. I'm gonna get my, oops, that was my hole punch. Let's see. I gotta figure out which one I want. Do I want gold? Silver? Oops, come on. Gold. I'm gonna go with gold. I never used the gold ones. All right, so here's my crocodile. Let's see. Go. How far does this come up? Okay. See if I can do this right. So I bought this set, I think on Amazon, and they're supposed to be 3/16, and they don't fit through the 3/16 hole, so I always have to like push them real hard. All right, let's see. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so here's my little eyelet, and then I'm gonna have to find a ribbon and put that through, and then I can start decorating this thing. Okay, so I thought I had this ribbon in pink, but I guess I'm out of it, so I'm just gonna use the same one that I used for my other little journal thing, because I think the yellow goes with the colors of the paper. I already started gluing pockets on the inside. So I just took some paper scraps that I had, and then I measured. Actually, I didn't measure. I just used my pencil and marked on the paper because I am not great with measuring in 1/16 and 1/8 of inches. I grew up with the metric system, so I'm struggling here. So like I said, just hold the paper up and mark with the pencil and cut on the pencil mark. So I think for this one, since this is very narrow, I'm gonna make my pen pal a bookmark, and I'm gonna stick it in here, and then I'm gonna put like the letter in here, and then some, I don't know, some other goodies in here. And then I'll just tie it all together. Maybe I'll decorate the front, and I might also put a charm on the ribbon. I'm just gonna glue this on. And I'm sorry that this video is super long and all over the place. I didn't expect to sorry, I didn't expect to run into those difficulties because I thought I had everything well planned out with my prototype, but turns out I glued the paper on wrong because I wanted them to overlap the other way, but whatever. Like I said earlier, it's not supposed to be perfect. I'm just supposed to have fun here, right? Okay, so pockets are on there. I could put a pocket on here. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll stick something else on here. And now we're gonna put our ribbon through. Guess that's enough. And there it is. My little journal. This one obviously is a little thicker because they have the signatures. Oh yeah, I was going to show you how to do the signatures. So it's a little bulkier. Okay, so for the signatures, what I did, and I'm sure there's a ton of videos on YouTube on how to sew in signatures. Pam at the Paper Outpost has really good tutorials on how to make books and stitch in the signatures in different ways. So I'm going to refer you to her videos because otherwise this video is going to be like 5 hours long. So what I did, I just measured how wide I want my signatures to be, took the double, folded it in half, and then you don't have to have a signature cover. I just figured it looks nice when you open it and you have those different colored covers. And then I took embroidery floss and I did 3 holes and I punched them through, and then I stitched or sewed them in here. So, and as I mentioned earlier, I sewed them in the middle of between those 2 folds. Let's see if we can actually see that. There you go. So they are, this spine is a 1/4 inch, so at 1/8 of an inch you would, I just, like, I didn't really measure it, I just estimated. Same with this one, and then same with this one. And like I said earlier, if you want to make this signature like really chunky, you might not or any of them, you might not want to do it with the first one, because when you fold it in, like here you have the 1/4 inch, it's getting a little tighter, but then here, like the signature here is really squished in here. So I'll leave it up to you. It's just how I did it. And obviously you can also change the width of the spine. Yeah, so journal, and this is just a letter thing with little goodies in it. And I hope the tutorial was a little bit helpful. I know I was all over the place, but it's not as easy as it seems when you have to actually talk or explain what you're doing while you're doing it, and then you make a bazillion mistakes like I did. Anyway, I hope you like it, and I hope you make some too. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are making. Thanks for watching. Bye.